Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Menu TrueNut, and welcome to Oxygen Not Included, a spacey, simulation-y, survival-y sort of thing with a rather adorable, cute aesthetic. I do absolutely adore how this game looks. So obviously it's a game about surviving in space, but don't let the cutesy graphics fool you, this takes a pretty hardcore approach to survival. Oh, this game's in early access, so all the usual disclaimers apply, not feature complete, probably still a work in progress, diddly diddly dee. So the first thing I've got to do is pick my 3 starting members of my team, my clones to be precise, because this game, the way you get new people is they just kind of pop out of the clone-o-matic thingy. You have to pick your first clones. We have got John as our chef, who's also very good at digging and all of the mining, Claire as our scientist, very good at doing all of the researching, and the slightly skittish looking Tabby. I like the fact that Tabby is the really skittish one, because she's a very skittish cat, can handle our tinkering and our construction projects, as well as our decorating, and her stress response is vomiting. Which is true. She has occasionally vomited on things. And out come John, Tabby, and Claire out of the flipping clonomatic. Your crew has awoken miles beneath the surface of an unfamiliar terrestrial body. Oddly, they've no recollection of how they got there. It might be best to start digging. Yes, indeed it is, though. Yes, there's quite a lot to get your head around when you get started. I've already played this for like 20 minutes just purely, so I have a vague idea what's going on. So, you start here in what appears to be a completely randomly generated little area, and you can look around. You can see like a little bit around you, but not too far. I'm not sure like how far the map extends. Presumably quite a long flipping way. The implication being, if I would just kind of keep going up, then eventually I would reach some form of surface, but we don't need to worry about that for now. Instead, what we need to do is we need to set up a base, because all of these people have all sorts of things, our needs. We've got health, we have got stress, we have got bladder, and breath. Breath is a particularly important one. We should probably worry about the flipping oxygen situation at some point. Stamina, we've got to take in calories, we've got body temperature to worry about, and also, apparently we have decor needs. That feels quite low down the hierarchy of needs, but you know, we need to look at it sooner or later. Probably a good place to start off with, however, is simply digging. This is sandstone, a raw material, so we'll just have them dig out all of this. Over here, meanwhile, we've actually got, soil, cultivatable soil, or we could just break it down very easily. You know what, why not? Let's have ourselves a good, nice starting room here. Just crack all of this up, lovely. And also, let's open up this space down here, because there's some stuff over here as well. So there we are, everyone runs over with their laser beams and starts digging. You can see they're actually digging at different rates, even though it's sandstone, because of course they've got different digging stats. So everyone is now just zooming down here, and slowly over time we are picking up sandstone. We are just picking up loads and loads. Apparently we've already picked up 5,000 kilograms of sandstone, which seems a little bit on the optimistic side, but whatever. Also, no one likes the way it smells over here. Got it. Well, that doesn't matter. Just focus for the minute on cutting up everything. Now, problem we've got here, we've got some oxygen presumably coming out of our little actual printing pod here, which is counting down to the next clone being hatched, so we will get a 4th person to join our team and so on. But over here, we have got atmospheric pressure low and also air not breathable. So we should probably back out of here and instead go and have a nice breathe in this area and actually start creating some new oxygen. So I think oxygen's coming out of here, but other than that, this air can't actually be breathing. You see there, oxygen is not breathable because of its weight in grams or something. Basically, what we need to do is get some oxygen going on. I mean, that's probably our first priority, yes. So, oxygen. We are going to need an algae deoxidizer. Converts algae into oxygen. So that's fine, but we're going to need algae before we can do anything with that. So, let's actually instead get some ladders going on here, because we've got water. There's loads of water. If it's blue water, it's purified water, and it's fine to use. Oddly, these guys don't seem to drink. They seem to just get all the liquid they need from food, because like when you're creating food, you need liquid for that. So there we are, a nice ladder leading down into the water beneath us. Ladders are nice and quick to produce. They only require 100 kilograms of sandstone. We've already got 15,000. So this is not going to be the nicest ladder in the world, but it'll do the job for now. So now everyone is going to get on with building us a ladder in a second. So in everyone goes. Well done, Tabby, John, and Claire. You build those ladders. And once they've got the ladder, they can actually get over here, and they can also get on with any of the digging they want to do. Lovely. People will naturally gravitate towards whichever job they are actually best at. The people who are best at digging will kind of prioritise digging. People who are best at building will prioritise building. Claire apparently is a bit of a fussy pleb. She keeps complaining about the actual fact that everything like isn't to her liking. Well, you know what, Claire? You're just going to have to deal with it for now, okay? Wait. That's where the oxygen is coming from. We've got oxylight, a consumable ore that is emitting oxygen. Good. So for the moment at least, we've actually got plenty of oxygen floating around in the world, so we don't actually worry about oxygen generation too quickly, but getting down to the algae for food generation will still be a very, very good thing indeed. Colony requires toilets. Well, you know what? We'll focus on that one step at a time. Ah, here's some algae. Good. We found some algae floating around here. So we're going to have water, and we're going to have some algae, which is just floating around. You know what? Guys, just go over to dig mode and dig out some algae, because we're going to need algae to make into everything. Algae can be our food. Algae can be all sorts of things. Now, Claire, I'm not saying you're not being helpful right now, but you do just seem to be climbing up and down a ladder. And complaining. Also complaining an awful lot. There you go. Well done for contributing. Now, we're running low on breathable gas down here. The oxygen is breathable here, but as we get too close to the water, yeah, there's problems with breathability. So we might need to put some oxygen pumps down there later. But that's fine. We've now got a working ladder, so we've now got access to water. We've also got access to a very large amount of just organic stuff floating on here. Yeah, just a whole bunch of algae. Marvellous. So hierarchy of needs. In order to make food, we're going to need water. Got access to that. And we're going to need algae. Got plenty of that. But in order to make the machine, we're going to need some metal. We've got some nice copper ore right here. So I would say, let's just convert all of this into some lovely resources for us. Raw metal. How much have we got here? Right now, yeah, we're starting to pick up some good quality copper ore here. Marvellous. So start working this. It's a bit slower, of course, to cut through ore versus cutting through sandstone. But now we are going to have a very large amount of that. I may need to provide you guys with a tile. Otherwise, you're going to struggle to get across here. Yeah, build ourselves a tile. Otherwise, they're going to struggle to... Oh, no, never mind. They actually hopped over the distance. That's nice. Well done. Oh, well, never mind. We've got these 2 tiles here. And now we are just slowly gathering together copper ore, which is very, very nice indeed. So, if we're going to be needing algae, and we're also going to be needing water in order to produce our food, I would say a good place to build our food would be down here, close by to the water. So I'm going to build a nice little platform that everyone can walk on down this way, and someone's going to go and take care of that. I'm also going to dig out a nice little area all around here. This is going to be the nice little cave in which all of our food production is going to take place. They've literally decided to go under the water to do this. That's fine. They're not going to die under the water. They're going to nip back up later. There you are, John. He's the smart one, damn it. He's the one that figured out you ought to do this, not from below. Tabby, meanwhile, well, we never said she was a smart cat. Also, there is water physics. It sometimes gets slightly confused. Oh, no, never mind. It's decided that there shouldn't be water right there. This is just dirt, so it's going to be nice and quick to cut through. Lovely. Right, and this is... Okay, this is barely breathable. We've got problems here. So as a result, people are actually having to hold their breath while they're digging. And John just got better at digging, and he's going to run around to celebrate. Beautiful. Yeah, we're actually going to need some oxygen down here if this is going to be one of the main areas that we live in. Now, continue building out this area. We're going to need a few things around here. One thing we will need is a bathroom to get us started at one point. Having a bathroom, just say... This could be our bathroom area over here. This would be fun as bathroom area, sure. So let's get ourselves, in terms of a bathroom plumbing, yeah, just a basic outhouse. We just have a basic outhouse over here. You go and move that. And no, we have hit night. Everyone has just fallen asleep because they're clones, and there's a little symbol at the top when the night's over, suggesting they're like, you know, injected from drugs from within or something. Still, you can do planning at night, so it's actually not the worst thing in the world at all. Oh no, never mind. John woke up because he didn't like the smell, and then ended up collapsing again immediately. Well done, John. So, we can lay out the plan for the outhouse that someone will actually get on with as soon as we get up. We can also plan what we're going to do down here. So, if we are going to be needing one, hang on the... Do we need the oxygen front? Yeah, probably. The oxygen thing will be a good place to start. Let's have an algae deoxidizer. Sure. And you can literally see how good the oxygen is. See? Heat maps. I like heat maps. So we'll have an oxygen thingy, like right here. That's fine. That can be like right at the end. Now that's also going to be needing some power. So let's go over to some power. And all we can have right now is a basic crappy manual generator. So we're going to put a manual generator right here next to this thing. Actually, let's not put that right there. Let's put this about here-ish. That's fine. And there we are. You see there's a weird symbol up there. Everyone's now got up and is getting going. We're also going to need, on the food front, we're going to need one mulcher. So we can have that right here as well. So we can have some mulching close by to the water. So now everyone's going to get building on all of these exciting devices I've asked them to build. And I totally saw a weird turtle. There was a little weird turtle. I saw him over here. I didn't imagine him, I'm telling you. So we have got an algae deoxidizer, but we have no algae and no power for it. So now all we need to do is power and power. Right, there we are. So now we have got electrical cables. Though everyone's decided, rather than actually do the work, they're actually going to, you know, nip over to the bathroom, have a spot of lunch, that's fine. Claire has a sore back and a full bladder, that's fine. We have got a working outhouse for now. Claire will probably nip to the bathroom in a second. And rather than just, you know, opening up the case and eating the resources, because, yeah, you start off with a certain number of basic rations, which will keep everyone going. We're going to need to be self-sufficient in terms of food pretty quickly, but luckily all these machines down here should help with that. Now, I'm also going to need a storage compactor for various bits and pieces. I'd say that storing the algae down here would be a very, very useful idea, because we're going to be needing the algae for food and also for turning into oxygen. So if we store all our algae in this storage device here, and then I tell everyone to start gathering up the algae, that would work very, very nicely indeed. So, John is now working on the food device, and Tabby is going to get going on the electrical wiring, I think. Alright, everything now wired together. So, storage compactor, you need to say what you actually want to store in it. So, I want to store only algae. This is my algae thing. So I'd like you to store all the algae stuff, and now I would like you to sweep up and move resources. I'd like all of this swept up and moved into resources, please. Here we are, good. Tabby has got into the giant hamster wheel. Claire, meanwhile, has grabbed some algae and is dumping it into the algae deoxidizer. So that is now producing oxygen. So if we now go over to the oxygen overlay, then yeah, that oxygen thing is now going to be producing large amounts of oxygen and is going to make this whole area much more pleasant to actually be in as time goes by. And my storage device for storing algae is now storing nearly 1,000 kilograms of algae out of a cap of 20,000. Lovely. What we need to start doing now is we need to start producing our own food. So I would like to produce a mush bar. A mush bar which can be produced out of just bottled water and dirt. Wait, I thought that needed algae. Oh, never mind, I thought that needed algae. Oops. So yes, meanwhile the lice loaf needs meal lice and bottled water. I don't know where you get meal lice from, we'll probably figure that out later. But yeah, literally I just need dirt and bottled water for actually making a mush bar. So, let's start queuing that up, shall we? So, awaiting delivery of dirt. Well, that's fine, I'm sure we can get some dirt from somewhere. There's flipping dirt everywhere. So now, just shove some dirt into that machine. John is just dumping algae into the algae deoxidizer. Sorry, I thought you needed algae for the food, but I was wrong. I've misremembered from the 20 minutes I've played this. Claire looks like she's getting on food, so she is sucking water out of this here pond, and she's going to shove that over here into the microbe musher. So that's now having water delivered on it. Beautiful. The water is now in, but obviously John should focus on the cooking because he is the chef. And here we are. John is now going to produce a mush bar. Claire is just kind of standing around and watching. Claire, do you have nothing better to do? Just do something. Claire, come on. You know what? Fine. Let's actually go on and dig out a little bit more space. Why don't you? If you've got nothing to do, you just get on with digging. And out comes the mush bar. It looks truly, truly appetizing. You cannot deny. And once it comes out, someone will probably go and either store it in the actual food ration box, potentially. Someone will get to that when there's nothing else to do. Nope, instead right now they're focusing on topping up the food thing, because basically we are just making as many mush bars as we can. Click on the mush bar, click on sweep, and as a result, Claire will go and pick that up, and we'll go and dump it in the ration box, which we can easily see how much we've actually got floating around there, which is very, very useful indeed. Now, as we're going to be making a large number of mush bars, it will probably not hurt, therefore, to have a second container over here, which is for dirt. So let's have a dirt container right there. Claire can get on with building that in a second. And if I want to make sure people do it faster, I can set its priority level higher, up to 9, then people will basically jump to that and stop doing anything else. So now Claire has got straight onto that because I've set the priority higher. You can also set people who like to have specific jobs, for example. So I could say that only John is supposed to be cooking, which does indeed make sense. So for example, cooking, I could say, yeah, John's got to do that. I could say Tabby should never do that. And Claire apparently just has no cooking ability. I make no further comment on that. So we've got a good food production thing going on here. We could probably do with actually giving our lovely survivors a bit of a bed to sleep in at some point. So what have we got here in terms of furniture? A cot reduces stress by giving duplicates a place to rest. Marvellous. At night they will automatically sleep in the cot that's been assigned to them. Good. So we could do with a handful of cots. This down here could be the nice dark. Hang on, let's just check this is. Yeah, this is all breathable. That's fine. I'm putting the beds in a place which is breathable. So we're going to put 3 cots next to each other right here. And I'm going to say that those are pretty important because I'd like those built today if we can. So John's producing a ton of food. Claire is now, never mind, we slightly missed the opportunity to make some beds. We'll crack on with the beds tomorrow. The important thing is there's just absolutely flipping tons of oxygen floating around. So there's also some ever so slight toxic stuff going in here. Why is there ever so slight toxic stuff here? Is it that seed? Is that seed bad? That seed might be bad. We'll have to keep an eye on that. And up everyone gets to crack on. Marvellous. Tabby is not currently doing any cycling, but that's fine. We don't need more food at this exact moment in time. Let's actually get those beds. Everyone wants to build the beds because, of course, I set them to a high priority. Fine. So now I simply assign a cot. So that is Tabby's bed, that is Claire's bed, and that is John's bed. So now everybody has a bed that they will sleep in, and that will be good for them. And that reduces stress by giving the duplicates a place to rest. On this occasion, Claire decided it's her turn to be in the hamster wheel. Marvellous. Now, over here, I want this to be raw mineral, cultivar, so dirt. This here is my dirt container. Marvellous. So I would like all of the dirt stored in this container so we've got plenty of dirt in which to make mush bars. And Tabby has gone actually to eat the first mush bar. Marvellous. Tabby seeming to be fine with eating the mush bar. Beautiful. Now, thanks to all the oxygen production you've been doing, you may recall that once upon a time, over on this side of the room, this whole area was completely unbreathable. It has become nice and breathable because now we are just pumping oxygen out into this area. And this area down here used to be unbreathable. Oh, this area is still a bit unbreathable. Why is this unbreathable? I feel like this area should be breathable. Maybe it'll get breathable as we kind of dig it out. Still, this is all fine as starting technology, but we need to start getting things along a little bit. We need a research station so we can actually make some flipping progress in the world. So, somebody build us a research station, please. I'd like that up next if you'd be so kind. So, we have got ourselves a research station, albeit it's not quite powered yet. The thing about a research station is we need to, 1, power it, and 2, pick the research area we would like to go down. As is just a basic research station, we just start off with the basic stuff. Farming tech. So we can have things like compost, breaking down contaminated dirt, turning it into fertilizer, a planter box, that strikes me as very, very useful indeed. We can also go down more in the area of kind of gas piping in order to go into managing pressure or temperature, or liquid piping, which goes into kind of more sanitation, or indeed percolation. Ooh, biodistiller. Electrolyzer, water purifier, very, very good indeed. So liquid piping kind of seems good. Obviously, power regulation leads eventually to much better quality generators, or indeed interior decor if we wanted to have sculpting blocks, mess tables, and ceiling lamps and whatever. Probably, I would say, a good starting point would be farming technology. So I'm going to select that now, and now, in order to unlock this, we need 20 points of research. Annoyingly, a single person running in a wheel only generates 400 watts, meaning that the oxygen thing, the food thing, and the research station can't all be on simultaneously. Now, let's just start working on novice research. So each one of those things that needs to be worked on represents 1 out of the 20. Now, Claire is our scientist, so she'll probably want to be getting on with that. So I'm going to set that as relatively high priority. So as soon as we have got that sorted out, yep, Claire's probably going to get on the research in a second. As soon as this thing is powered, it's powered, right? Yep, and Claire gets on with the research and does it pretty bloody quickly. So as soon as she gets up to 20, we'll have a whole bunch of new farming technologies, which will be very, very useful indeed. As for food, meanwhile, we've probably got enough food for the minute at least. And we have got a new person coming in who we actually get to select. So, from the printing pod, let's choose a duplicate. On this occasion, we can't actually just kind of keep shuffling until we find someone we like. We just have to pick 1 out of 3. I just want to point out that Brady, a level 7 miner with +7 to digging, has the trait can't dig it. This duplicate just can't operate a dig tool for the life of them, cannot perform job, dig. Now that is unfortunate for a miner with +7 in digging. So, you're definitely out. Oh, go on then, we'll bring in Eugene, who just moves around very quickly and is a bit of an all-rounder. Sure, why not? I think I'm allowed to reject all, but if I do, I think I just missed this person. I don't think I actually get a new selection of 3. So I'm not going to risk it. We're just going to print Eugene, who's very happy to have been picked, mainly because he doesn't know what hell he's about to arrive into. So Eugene, indeed, as an athlete, moves around vastly faster than everyone else. Eugene just arrived, sprinted down a ladder, dived to the bottom of the water, grabbed some meat, shoved it in there. Marvellous, well done, Eugene. So, now Eugene and John are going to be our new team of cooks. Eugene is loading up the food machine, and John is going to get on with cooking as our designated cook. And, ooh, he's getting better at doing something, I don't know which. Unfortunately, there's not enough power to do all of these things. If John starts cooking, that means there's not enough power to research. Which means we may just want to actually have a second research thing. But, if we have a second power thing here... Yeah, that's a problem. If we have a second power thing here, then as a result, I need 2 people cycling just to actually get everything on at once. But it's probably still for the best. There we are. There's our dirt storage device with lots of dirt for making lots of food. No, Eugene, why? Why would you be doing the cooking? This is not your job. Nobody does the cooking except John, okay? And nobody does the researching except Claire. Eugene, you're not fitting in well with the group. I'm going to set Eugene to doing some harvesting. There's a bunch of stuff we can probably harvest around here. I don't know what all of this is. But Eugene, you get on with harvesting all of this stuff. You just figure that out. That can be your job. And everyone has fallen asleep in their lovely beds. Apart from Eugene. Wait, that better not be Eugene there. That's not Eugene, right? No, good. That's just a buried plant. Eugene just went to sleep on the ground because we forgot to build Eugene a bed today. So that's unfortunate. Tomorrow, we will build a new bed for Eugene. Okay, how's everyone doing, by the way? How is everyone? So, you've had plenty of calories today. Same here. No one's that stressed so far. Good. You're dealing very, very well with this nightmarish buried under an alien world situation. And everyone has decided today is just the day they want to do that harvesting. This isn't just going to be Eugene's job. No, everyone wants to go flipping harvesting. Fine. On the plus side, everyone seems to have got the message. Eugene and Tabby are the ones in the hamster wheels, which is good. Claire. Claire. Why exactly are you not... it's because I need to set new research. Right, yeah, just continue fabricating more research. Claire, get on the research job, please. Thank you. Claire was literally about to do some work, then Tabby decided it was lunchtime. Not bloody helpful. And here we go. Power for everyone. Claire working on the research table. Marvellous. She'll get through that very, very quickly indeed. And that is getting us progress towards farming technology, planter boxes, compost. Marvellous. And research has been complete. Good work, Claire. That means we have now got ourselves farming technology. A whole bunch of new stuff has just become available there. Let's probably move straight on now to liquid piping so we can start moving liquids around, because then we can get to sanitation, which seems like a useful sort of thing to me. It's time for bed and everyone goes to sleep, but we have a bunch of new stuff here. Very, very nice indeed. We have got, yeah, the algae thing. Recycles carbon dioxide into a small amount of oxygen and gains a minor efficiency boost in direct light. Okay, so we can produce oxygen like that. But I'm not sure we necessarily need that. I think I'm happy with the algae deoxidizer thingy. Yeah. Alright, let's get some planter boxes built over here, definitely. And that is... did I just say, yeah, periodically produces food or medicine. Requires 1 unplanted seed and is bad for decor. Fine, well in that case, I'd say this area over here can be our nice area where we build a whole bunch of plants. We'll just grow loads of plants around here. Marvellous. May need to build some ladders just to make sure everyone can get down here nice and safe, because that might be a bit of a big drop otherwise. And as it's probably a bit stressful to work down in that horrible, horrible area, let's shove a couple of plants down next to the wheels. So while you're running, you can look at a nice flower vase. Lovely. And we can also have up here a new storage unit, and this is going to be where we store all of our seeds, of course, nearby to our gardens. Nice. Can someone please make this in a hurry? Can't help but notice that the algae supplies, well, they're getting a little bit on the low side. So maybe, just maybe, you guys could just, like, dig out a bit more algae just to make sure the algae situation's under control. Somebody get on a bit of algae digging. And just for today, what I'm going to say is, Eugene, in your job section, I'm going to say you're going to do nothing but building today. So, yeah, I just want you to do building. Eugene literally can't build. That's the thing he cannot do. Well, that's just great. Okay, in that case, you're doing power and nothing else. Right, in that case, Tabby, you're actually our best person at construction, so you're on that today. And there she goes. There goes Tabby. She is going to build a whole bunch of stuff for us. Lovely. So, the planters start to come into effect. They're being built now. Now I need to select what we actually plant in them. So let's say that that is going to be a mealwood seed. So that is a nutritious, fast-growing plant. Alternatively, we have got an edible bud. What does that actually do? So that yields one thing per harvest for 1,000 calories. Or 50... Oh! Well, obviously we want to go for that then. Yeah, just plant all of that. Definitely go for this. There we are. We've planted that. So now we're going to have a whole bunch of plants coming in over here. Beautiful. And it's also apparently going to be good for decor, which is nice. Also, apparently we have actually picked up some meal lice from somewhere. I'm not sure where that's come from, but apparently we do actually have some of that. So, let's fabricate it if we have the ability to. Sure, let's get some meal lice going on in here. John will probably jump right on that. So, yeah, the lice loaf. I just need the meal lice and some bottled water. And that is exactly as good as the mush bar. It's just less likely to cause diarrhea. Marvellous. There we are. Flipping lice loaf coming in. Nice. Looks not desperately appetizing, but probably more appetizing than that thing. On the plus side, the food situation seems well under control. Bunch of food dumped over here in the ration box. If I just dump some food in. Oh yeah, you just dumped a lice loaf in, then pulled a mush bar out. What are you saying's wrong with the lice loaf, John? Yeah, we've got enough food in there for now. We are making enough food to survive. And once our garden gets growing properly, it will be much better. So plant, and plant, and plant. And John delivers the mealwood seeds. And now, though that's going to take a little bit of time to grow. Initial growth 5 cycles, then regrowth. Ah, so the first time it needs to grow, it takes 5 days. Then after that, every 2.5 days, it produces 15 mealwood per harvest. And then that is 1,500 calories. Ooh, nice. Oh, wait, no. That's total. It's just 100 calories per unit. Oh. That's not so good then. We'd need quite a lot of that for actual effective agriculture. And I think I just heard some novice stuff going on there. I think we've got some new flipping research. Oh yes, liquid piping. Marvellous. Now, I would at the bare minimum like to give everyone a shower and a way to wash their hands, because everyone's been talking about being really grubby for a long time. So let's get some sanitation going on here. Ah, we've got a problem with our outhouse. It's been overused slightly. So it's actually now producing, yeah, contaminated dirt. Call it whatever you want, Gabe. And it's contaminated dirt. Did you just go and suck up the dirt in order to put it... That's not dirt, John! Ah, and the wonderful, glorious music means we've got a new person, which is good. We could do with one of them. Gabriel, level 5 miner, also a little bit fast, good at construction. You will do. We will print one of you. Marvellous. And this time we won't forget to build a bed for you. Actually, we will, just because apparently we just can't. Okay, you don't get to sleep with everyone else, Gabriel. Alright, you have to sleep over here and keep an eye on the plants to make sure no one, like, steals them or something. And that algae pile is actually definitely making some decent oxygen, just not quite. No one can actually be bothered to make Gabriel's bed today. That's a shame. Gabriel, we will make you a bed tomorrow. It's just no one can actually be bothered right now. You must feel so welcome. And tomorrow we shall build a new supercomputer. Marvellous. We should have enough copper ore for that. With that new supercomputer, we can do high levels of research that will get us towards sanitation soon. Soon, my beautiful clones, you shall be able to shower and wash your hands, because since you've arrived, every single one of you has been complaining about being grimy and having dirty hands. But there's nothing I can do about it. Also, apparently Tabby is literally holding her breath right now. Are you actually sleeping in a position where there's no oxygen? Are you both doing that? Oh, that's a really bad idea. Yeah, okay, possibly I shouldn't have actually built their beds there, because apparently there's no flipping air. And there we are. I think Gabriel actually built his own bed there. Beautiful. Now, Gabriel, I know it doesn't look like the best bed, but apparently 2 of the beds we've already got are actually literally in a position where there is no oxygen. So I guess what I'm saying is just consider yourself lucky that you don't have to literally sleep with your breath held. Okay, Claire moves over from the research table. Well done to Tabby and Eugene for the continued running there. Well done indeed. Claire moves over to the supercomputer, because as soon as we get some intermediate research going on there, we will be in an excellent position to actually figure out how to do some flipping piping, and that's what I really want to do. Let's get these people some sanitation. Apparently the supercomputer just needs bottled water to work, so lucky we built it right over the water, really. You'd think that would be a stupid idea for a computer, but no, it's water cooled, so we have got water right flipping here. Though admittedly, we are just sucking up our water supply, which, you know, we also need to make food, which could be a little bit on the concerning side eventually. I'm also assuming, by the way, that Eugene and Tabby are a lot happier. Oh yeah, Tabby is smiling. Tabby is so thrilled now that we've actually got a flower vase with some actual plants in it. It is making running in the hamster wheel literally every day much more pleasant. Eugene doesn't look so happy, but then I suppose possibly you can see beyond the kind of crappy plant I planted, he does indeed have this thing, which doesn't exactly look that pleasant. Gabriel has just settled into a happy life of just sucking up water and then basically just shoving it into every machine that needs it. He's just feeding water to John to make the mush bar. He's feeding water to Claire so she can keep using the supercomputer. And Tabby and Eugene, they just run in a circle. It's beautiful. Oh, and I think that's it. I think we've just got something very, very important indeed. No, stop time. Stop time here. We have got ourselves, oh yes, well, we've got ourselves manual airlocks. Don't care about that. We have got an air deodorizer. Reduces the threat of diseases by filtering contaminated oxygen out of the air. Well, if we'd gone and dug over to, say, this area over here. Now, that's contaminated water. Ah, here we are. Contaminated oxygen. So, we could use that to sort out that. So if we wanted to expand in that direction, we could do. But no. The really interesting stuff is, of course, a proper lavatory, a proper shower, liquid pipes, beautiful. And over in medicine, a hand sanitizer. Though for that, we need bleach stone. Don't know what that is. Let's not worry about that. Let's instead just give everyone a shower and a proper toilet. Right, we're going to build a bloody bathroom. So that's going to require a liquid intake pipe and a liquid output pipe. It is going to generate contaminated water, so we're going to need to find somewhere to just store that. So it's going to generate a small amount of heat, and it is bad for the immediate decor. Fine. And I'm guessing the shower is... Ooh, the shower can cure dirty hands. Fine. We can't produce you like the hand washing station, but just wash your hands in the shower and everything's okay. So, we're going to need to find a way to suck up water, and ooh, we've got some water right up here. Alright, I think if we were to build a bathroom, yes, build a bathroom, feed the water directly from above so there's good pressure in the shower. Oh, yes, this is just the thing. Right, hang on. Okay, first things first, we're going to need to build a ladder to get us up to the top here, up to our new bathroom. Now, we're also going to need somewhere to put the contaminated water when we're done. I would say if we were to dig a big pit here, what if this was where we stuck the contaminated water? We just put it in a big pit over here. I'd say that works. You think everyone would be more into my building a shower plan? It's a good plan, but no, only Gabriel seems to have any interest in it whatsoever. Like, Claire and flipping Tabby just doing any busy work they can come up with to desperately avoid helping out with this plan. Ah, I've just spotted a small problem. No, cancel the dig. I've just spotted a small problem with my bathroom. So, my bathroom is a vacuum of unbreathable air. So, I've decided actually that's not a good spot for, well, hang on. Okay, who wants to be the brave one to actually, oh, it's Tabby. Tabby's going to be the one. I don't know what's going to, this is probably going to be bad. The auction is going to flow upwards. Okay, yeah, okay, I'd be careful in there because that is actually a vacuum, but well done. Due credit to Claire, she is the brave one who decided to just step into the vacuum and start mining anyway. Oh yeah, everyone is totally 100% into this. You are just all diving into the vacuum and just getting on with it. You know, I didn't need to worry. Everyone is so into this. They have just dived into the vacuum. They are just mining away, and intriguingly, it looks like the oxygen is indeed flowing through. I would have thought like a vacuum, the moment it was opened up, would really like suck through the oxygen, but no. Apparently it just takes some time. So we've got some barely breathable oxygen here, but that's fine because you can't spell barely breathable without breathable. Right, commence operation, build a shower right here. So, liquid flows from output, so like from a pump or whatever. I might need to build a pump up in the water. But in all fairness, gravity should do the job, right? Presumably, yes. It needs to go in on the green and then out on the white. Well, that's fine. Just get that built. Lovely. And ditto for the lavatory. We can build a fresh lavatory here. See, I see everyone's excited by this, or everyone was excited by this, then they decided to go to bed instead. apart from Gabriel, who was hungry. And the question is, how are they going to build the piping I've just suggested they'd like to build? Because I suspect this is going to cause them some trouble. If I was just to build them a ladder next to this, yeah, just a ladder to go up here. This is fine. Just a ladder to go straight up here. And there we go. Water is going to come from above into the toilet and the shower, and then it's going to be flushed away over to here. Everything's going to be fine into this lovely pit we've made. And we've got a new duplicate to help us out with this process. Good, because it's kind of taking a while. Please tell me at least one of you is good at actual construction. Nope, none of you are. But one of you has 7 athletics. That's perfectly fine, because then you'll just run around quickly doing stuff. I will say this is a very, very slow game. I've pretty much just got one task on the go right now, which is, you know, there's just the day-to-day stuff, like, you know, keeping the food production going and powering that and whatever. But for the most part, no, you're not supposed to be power producing. Don't produce power. That's not your job. But, like, for the most part, there is literally one job going on right now, which is build the thing I've asked them to build. And it's taking them a bloody long time to get round to it. I mean, sometimes in game design, you do things that aren't exactly realistic in order to make the game a more streamlined and enjoyable experience. Like, in SimCity 4, you just lay water pipes, and they're just under the ground, and they're just there. But here, laying water pipes isn't, yep, another day has ended with barely any progress towards these pipes. Because I apparently need to, like, dig out all of this space. If I want to lay pipes underground, I can't just lay pipes underground and people can't just, like, lay them from above, because that would be, while unrealistic, much easier. Come on. Oh dear, there are some frustrations here. Okay, Gabriel is going to do nothing but digging, alright? And Dan, you are going to do nothing but building, alright? That's all you're going to do. This is how we're going to start. I'm going to literally have to turn off all of your things, but the one thing... Okay, that smooth things out. So if you want anyone to do anything with any efficiency, you basically just need to tell them to flip. So the plan with the water hasn't exactly gone beautifully well. Also, I've pretty much flooded literally everything. Oh no. Well, on the plus side, there's plenty of water down here. Okay, this up here, this is going to be our new bathroom, alright? I'm going to make this work. Okay, step number 1. We are going to make a liquid pump. So liquid pump draws in liquid and runs through the connected liquid pipe. Must be submerged in liquid to function. Does, however, require power. Okay, we're giving up on that plan because the game's made it too needlessly complicated because, yeah, you'd need to have power. They can't be just wired through the ground. It would need to be wired up here. So, no, we're not doing any of that. Instead, there's been a cave-in over here. Possibly, we should get rid of that, because I feel like you two are actually now trapped in an area with very limited oxygen. How about you dig yourselves out? That there would be an option. So instead, we're just going to build some stuff over here, where there's plenty of water, literally right here. It's not what I wanted to do. Either it'd be really cool to be feeding the water from above, but the game's just not keen on it happening, so it's just not going to happen. Okay, someone is now doing the honour of building a water pump down there. I'm going to make a toilet or shower work in this game if it kills me. Oh my god, I think we've done it. I think we've flipping done it. Oh, it's actually here. Okay, cancel dig. I don't care about any of that anymore. So I've dug this cesspit at the back. This is beautiful. There's just some contaminated water here. You know what? Probably just mop up the contaminated water. Would anyone like to use this new bathroom? Because this lavatory is actually ready. And that means I can also build a shower here. Okay, I can build a shower and I can just basically work it into the exact same process. It's actually flipping done. We have got fresh water coming in here. We have got the bad water coming out of there, passing over here. You need to use kind of the pass-over pipes. If that looks confusing to you, yes, it is ludicrously confusing. The UI for the plumbing systems is pretty dreadful, to be honest. And having spent this 2 odd hours attempting to build these people a shower so that they could stop being grimy, I have got Cass, one of the new people, just standing around here. She's idle. She's got no job she's been assigned. And she is grimy and has dirty hands, which is in fact the problem. She is standing in front of a shower that nobody is using, that is plugged in, and she's not using it. none of these people who are idle and have dirty hands and who are grimy are using the shower that is plugged in and that they could use at any point. Basically, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, Oxygen Not Included is a really, really, really good idea. I love the aesthetic. I love the idea behind it. I love the little kind of touches of the script. I love the way it looks. I love the way it should work. But it doesn't work. And it is catastrophically let down by the really, really stupid AI. The pathfinding just seems to be abysmal. The decision making seems to be abysmal. The order in which they do work is stupid. The only way I found to really make these guys do what I actually want them to do at any particular moment is basically to just go over into their jobs and assign them literally one job and just say, okay, just like today, you do only one job. You just build. If I don't tell them to do that, they'll just run from one side level to the other. I mean, probably there's an element to which they'd be more efficient if I was laying out the level in such a way as the game wants me to, but given there's basically zero tutorial and the game hasn't been giving me any hints telling me about more efficient ways to lay out, say, storage devices, I don't really feel that one's on me. So yeah, Oxygen Not Included. It could be good, but it's completely let down by the AI, and until they sort out the pathfinding and in general the behaviour of all the duplicants, I just find it an exercise in frustration, to be honest. I found this very, very frustrating to play. I love the idea of it. I wish it worked better than it did. I genuinely wish this were better than it is, but it's just not working at the moment, and it's just my final straw that I have spent an hour and a half to 2 hours providing these people with a bloody working shower, and not one of them, even the people who won't do anything and are complaining about being dirty, are going to use it. That's the final straw for me. I'm out. So maybe I'll nose in and see how Oxygen Not Included is getting on as time goes by. But for the moment, I cannot recommend it. It's just not working for me. Still, I shall keep my eye out and see if maybe I see anything else more of this nature that perhaps works more to my liking. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Oxygen Not Included. Great idea, but it's just not quite there yet. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Here we go. Farmers are starting to plant some fish. They put some fish eggs into the... Wait, I meant that as a joke, but no, fish do actually come out of fish eggs. That was a very badly thought out joke. You managed to get yourself stuck in the wall, didn't you? Maybe we should just, never ever open this here wall. There's a lot of mole people back there.